Okay, so I'm going to start with a 2D shape in the front viewport. So just look at this, do it afterwards. We'll do it together. So right now you're just looking. I'm going to start with a 2D shape in the front viewport. Click. A click gives me a sharp point, and a click and drag gives me a curve. See that? Click and drag gives me a curve. Click and drag gives me a curve. Click gives me a sharp point. I'm going to close this shape. Now if I press this button here, oops, I need a 3D snap here. I'm going to click on 3D snap so I can actually get this. Click here, click and drag for my curve, click and drag for my curve, click and drag for my curve, and then click, click, click. So you see I have this spline. If I apply a modifier called lathe, it's an engineering term. It's used to actually manufacture objects. It's a manufacturing process. You must have seen a wooden barrel sweeping on an axis and it's something chopping it off. Very similar to that. That is exactly what it is actually. Now I have options here. Minimum means on the x-axis the minimum point. You see this is the minimum on the x-axis, right? This is the maximum point of the x-axis. So I can ask it to sweep on the minimum. I can ask it to sweep. So if I go to lathe, I can go ask you to maximum. So it sweeps from the other axis. So you're choosing which axis the whole thing should sweep around. Okay, and that's the center. So we want minimum first of all. Secondly, you see this. What it has done is it has taken this cross section. It has taken the cross section and it has repeated it and connected it radially. Correct? Repeated it radially. Now as it has repeated it, you can see it has got more points. Even at the center, it has got a lot of points. And because of that, you see this problem in rendering. You see these shades? You see this unevenness? So whenever you sweep, you must weld the core. When you weld it, and I render it again, you can see now the shading is gone. You must weld the core. Now understand this, because there were 16 segments. See this, if I reduce the segments, see that? How many segments? More segments, the more smooth it is. If I have 30 segments, that means I have 30 vertices here. That must be welded. The center must be welded. Now this is, of course, this gives me a closed wine glass. It's of no use to me. I will have to convert it. See this, I can convert it to an editable poly. And I can take the top polygons. So I go to polygon. I can select the top polygons and I don't want this layer. I can choose an option that says I want only those that are fully enclosed. If I say this, any polygon that is crossed will be selected. If I say this, any polygon that is fully enclosed will be selected. I can select these ones and delete. So now I've got an empty glass. I can give it two-sided glass material. If I think it's too thin, I can give it a shell modifier. But these are all other things which are not our goal for today. Our goal for today is just the lathe and edit poly, which I will show again. But just wanted to show you the shell modifier. See that it makes it thick. Does that make sense? So I can make any object that's radially symmetrical around a central axis. Just gonna render it again. It renders the active viewport, so I'm just going to. Okay, so that's kind of a glass. Anything which is radially symmetrical. Let's say I'm going to delete this and do another example, and that will recap. So suppose I start with line front view. I'll keep the snap on. I'm just going to make I might move that up. So if I want a straight line, I must just do a click. A click and drag gives me a curve. What I'm trying here is to try and make some sort of an arrow. Okay, so I have this cross section. I can turn the snap off. I can turn the snap off. I can come and open my line. I can modify these vertices. I can move these vertices. Just make it a bit thinner. I can select these. I can move them even after doing my lathe, okay? And then I'm going to hit a lathe on it. Choose minimum and weld core, and you see I've got some sort of an arrow happening there. You can make a missile, bullets. I can see there. So lathe. A few things to bear in mind now. Few things that you must remember. Number one, the segments. For games, really anything from 8 to 24 is fine. 8 to 24 is fine. For movies, 32, I don't make it too heavy. Another thing to remember here is, I'll take turn of the lathe. Suppose I have a curved object. On the face of it, you can see I only have these many vertices, right? I only have that many vertices. I'm going to take this vertex and convert it to a going to take this vertex and make it smooth. So yeah, see this smooth or Bezier? I can make it Bezier. Bezier gives me this handle. See this handle? If I make it Bezier, I get a handle. Now just understand what is happening here. You see from here to here there's a straight line. I got 2 points. Here to here also I got 2 points, but it's not a straight line. I've got a curve here determined by the Bezier, but when I lathe it, see how many points I have from here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in betweens. From here to here, because it's a straight, it says I don't need to put points to make it count, but here I get 6 more. It is determined by, if I go to line, you see somewhere here, there is an option, interpolation. How many steps should be there between 2 points when there is a curve, interpolation. If I make it 1, see that? 1, 2, how many do I need, you know? I come from the days of 1991 where computers were really slow. Every little point mattered, every polygon mattered. So I'm very optimal, and in today's world when we are trying to play games on mobile phones, once again every single point matters. You can't just go just because it looks good. This one model will probably have more polygons than entire games. So you got to be very optimal, okay? And I'm showing you this because this is something I'm going to use in my exercise today when I start building a shield. So our first step today is to master lathe. I'll stop this recording, and yeah, we'll do this whole thing together.